the San Francisco 49ers might have a significant trade decision developing on their radar when it comes to wide receiver Jennings, with speculation intensifying around a potential move that could involve Atlanta Falcons tight end Kyle Pitts. The idea of pairing Shanahan's offensive system with a dynamic, hybrid-style tight end like Pitts has intrigued analysts for some time. But this theoretical transaction has now grown more plausible due to evolving financial, strategic, and personnel circumstances shaping the 49ers' roster outlook heading into the 2026 offseason. Jennings, who is now in the 6th season of his NFL career, has spent his entire professional journey with the 49ers after initially entering the league as a late-round prospect who carried both promise and concerns. Over time, he has risen through the ranks not as a flashy vertical threat, but as a gritty, reliable possession receiver whose toughness, situational excellence, and third-down dependability have made him one of the most valuable complementary pieces in San Francisco's offense. His physicality in the slot, his ability to win contested catches, and his willingness to operate fearlessly over the middle have earned him the trust of both his coaches and teammates, helping stabilize the offense throughout various injuries and lineup changes that have occurred in recent seasons. But despite his on-field importance, San Francisco now finds itself facing a cluster of financial decisions that could reshape the roster's priorities. Projected to have roughly $50 million in salary cap space heading into the 2026 offseason, the 49ers must decide which players to retain with new contracts and which positions require reinforcements. Jennings stands out as one of the key pending free agents whose future with the team is not guaranteed, especially considering that San Francisco has other major financial commitments on the horizon and a series of extensions already on the books. If the front office determines that retaining Jennings is not feasible, or if they believe they can maximize value by moving him while strengthening another positional need, then the option of trading him becomes increasingly realistic. The Athletic's Matt Barrows outlined the complexity of the 49ers' cap situation and how Jennings fits into the larger picture. It looks like the 49ers will be in the middle of the pack when it comes to off-season salary cap space, roughly $50 million in 2026. If Aiyuk and pending free agents Jauan, Jennings, and Kendrick Bourne aren't on the team, I'd imagine receiver will be a priority in free agency and the draft. The top returning options would be Ricky Pearsall, Demarcus Robinson, Jordan Watkins, and Jacob Cowan. 3 of those players have been injury-prone, while the 4th, Robinson, has just 13 catches in 10 games, Barrows wrote. His analysis underlines a looming challenge. If the 49ers lose both Aiyuk and Jennings, the receiver room would be left with a fragile and inconsistent depth chart, forcing the team to invest heavily in reinforcements. Barrows then added an intriguing layer to the discussion, suggesting that if Jennings were to move on, Kyle Shanahan might explore a bold and creative personnel shift involving Atlanta Falcons tight end Kyle Pitts. As far as flashy signings, I wonder whether Shanahan would be interested in Falcons tight end Kyle Pitts as someone who could step into the big slot role should Jennings move on. Shanahan had a similar player in Washington, and briefly with the 49ers, in Jordan Reed. That comparison to Jordan Reed is significant because Reed thrived in Shanahan's system when healthy, leveraging elite route running, fluid separation skills, and rare agility for a tight end. Pitts, a former top 5 pick and one of the most physically gifted tight ends to enter the league in decades, fits that mold in many ways. His blend of size, speed, body control, and catch radius versatility makes him a candidate to be deployed as more than a traditional tight end. Instead, he could operate as a matchup-breaking hybrid receiver, functioning in the slot, out wide, or in motion-based alignments that Shanahan loves to use to manipulate defensive looks. While the possibility of acquiring Pitts remains speculative, the mere mention reflects how the 49ers might strategically recalibrate their offense if key pieces like Jennings depart. The uncertainty surrounding these future roster decisions mirrors the broader trend of continuous roster evolution required in the modern NFL, where salary cap constraints, injury rates, and shifting team needs demand constant adaptation. What is clear, however, is that Jauan Jennings has grown into an important piece of San Francisco's offensive identity. His impact rarely shows up in highlight reels the same way as Deebo Samuel's explosive runs or George Kittle's bulldozing catch-and-run sequences. yet his contributions are unmistakable. Jennings has built a reputation as a clutch performer, particularly on third downs and critical red zone moments, where his physical style and strong hands consistently provide Brock Purdy with a trustworthy option. Despite missing 2 games due to injury this season, Jennings has continued to display resilience and reliability. In the 11 games he has played, he recorded 41 receptions for 458 yards and 5 touchdowns, production that does not fully capture his situational value. His blocking, effort in scramble drills, ability to seal defenders in the run game, and chemistry with Purdy all compound his worth beyond raw statistics. These traits have made him a glue-type player in Shanahan's scheme, the kind of quiet but essential component that offenses often miss tremendously when gone. Yet, even with Jennings' contributions, the business side of football rarely pauses to accommodate sentiment or loyalty. The 49ers' 9-4 record reflects the team's ability to navigate adversity while staying competitive in the NFC West, currently holding 3rd place in the division standings. They sit above the Arizona Cardinals but trail the Seattle Seahawks and Los Angeles Rams, 2 divisional rivals who have both undergone significant transformations in recent years, heightening the competitive pressure. In the broader NFC picture, San Francisco sits at 7th place, ahead of the Detroit Lions and Dallas Cowboys, but behind the Green Bay Packers and Seahawks. These standings illustrate the narrow margins separating top contenders in the conference and reinforce why strategic roster management is so crucial. The 49ers cannot afford to lose ground, especially given their ambition to remain perennial playoff threats and pursue another Super Bowl appearance during the prime years of their core players. Their preparation for the upcoming schedule continues with urgency and focus. After entering their bye week, the team will resume play when they host the Tennessee Titans on December 14th, a matchup that could influence their playoff positioning and provide valuable insight into how effectively the offense can operate with its current personnel. As conversations begin to swirl about what the 49ers' offense might look like in the future, with or without Jennings, the team remains committed to maximizing the present while simultaneously preparing for long-term evolution. Whether San Francisco ultimately decides to extend Jennings, involve him in a trade, or restructure the receiving core around new acquisitions will depend on numerous factors: his market value, Pitt's availability, the development of younger receivers, and the team's broader strategic blueprint. For now, the speculation continues to build, fueled by Jennings' increasing visibility as a key contributor, Pitt's potential fit in a dynamic offensive system, and the franchise's ongoing pursuit of sustained excellence in an ever-competitive NFC landscape. What remains certain is that the 49ers' decision will be shaped not only by talent evaluation, but by a complex web of financial planning, scheme compatibility, competitive positioning, and long-term vision. A reminder that in the NFL, roster-building decisions are rarely simple, especially for a franchise operating with championship ambitions. Comment if you think this exchange would actually be a good thing. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.